Okay, so many of you might be wondering, like, I kind of was, what is ADHD? Or you can saw the title of the video. You know what you're getting into with this video, and I will be talking about what it is from personal experience as well as what I've researched, which I don't know if you should trust my research, because I won't even have anything in the description for you to, like, look at, which kind of sucks, I know. Next time I'll do better. This is one of my first videos doing this kind of psychology topic, but it's something that personally affects me since I have ADHD. I'm not sure how bad it is, but I, like, compared to other people, because I haven't really talked to anyone else with ADHD, so it's only really from my personal experience and what I've researched, which is kind of repeating what I just said, but the word itself means attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It is something that can be genetic, or it can be caused by something happening to your brain, like brain damage, stuff like that. It also has a few other disorders that it is known to be associated with, but I don't have those disorders handy, so I'm not really going to tell you right now what they are. You can do your own research. I'll put, if I find something about it, I'll put it in the description below. So if you're wondering how, like, what does it mean? What does attention deficit hyperactive disorder even mean? And for most people, they don't really get it, or they do, or they think they do. They don't get what this means. Some people might know the acronym, some people might not. But most people only focus on the words attention and hyperactive, which are important words to focus on, but they don't really think about what those words mean and what they mean for the people who have to deal with what those words mean. Generally, each part of ADHD is kind of connected to stuff. It's hard to tell when you have it to explain to other people, because especially in my case, a lot of my personality was formed around ADHD because it was such a hassle to deal with for me personally. Now, you may not think it's a hassle, and it may not be for you if you have it. If you don't have it, this is, of course, for you to learn. I don't know how much you can relate, and you might think, oh, then you might, at the end of the video, might be like, oh, I have ADHD or something like that. But if you don't know, and a medical professional has not told you that you have ADHD, I would not say that you have ADHD. Or, like, just make sure to get tested, because I am not a medical professional. While it is something that I am interested in, I'm just a 17-year-old kid. I don't know really in depth of what I'm talking about. While I do know myself very well, and I've done research, I have not gone to school for this. So yeah, it's just a, like, disclaimer to not really put too much emphasis on my words, because they're kind of coming up as I'm thinking them. I'm trying to make them good together, because I don't necessarily have a script for this video. I know generally what I'm talking about, and I might forget things here and there and jump, but yeah. I should talk about the specific parts now, as I was going to. So attention deficit hyperactive disorder, where does each part of that mean? So attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So the attention part, we're going to focus on attention and hyper, because those are the main parts of it. But what those mean is different for each person, but I'm going to talk about how those mean for me and what they might mean for other people and common symptoms of what they do. First of all, attention. Now, you might not think it's much. You might think you have a bad attention span or something like that, but it isn't the same. It's not just a bad attention span. It's attention in general, which is a lot of different things. It does mean a short attention span, but it means more than that. Which kind of goes into the hyperactivity, what I'm thinking about. But when it comes to that, to the attention part, you generally, when you have ADHD, you can't focus, which leads to other things happening. Like for me, when someone's talking to me and I'm not focused enough, sometimes I'll miss whole paragraphs that they were talking about just because I thought about something interesting. And that's not my... Some people might think that that's my fault, but it really isn't. I've done the best I can do to work around these problems and have developed certain traits that are very important to who I am to solve these problems. They're really like coded with, right? So originally my coping mechanism to deal with my lack of focus, because what would happen is if someone was talking to me, I would miss like a few words in each of their sentences. I would listen, but I would miss a few words, and normally they were unimportant, but sometimes they were important. So my brain became analytic. It broke apart what the person was saying into tiny chunks, which allowed me to put it back together to understand what they were saying. And what this did was that it allowed me to fill in what they missed, or like what I missed from what they were saying, right? So this was originally just a coping mechanism for that, but now it's something where I overanalyze everything, and I literally, like if someone was to give me a compliment, I would tear apart the meaning, what the person was saying to me, and what how it would affect me emotionally, and stuff like that, where I would break it down in a psychology kind of perspective, because that's what I have research in, and mixed with my other coping mechanism, it's just something that came naturally. And now, if you complimented me, I probably wouldn't react, because I either expected it or, you know, it's not something that I believe is true. And sometimes if someone will compliment me, I won't see it as a compliment. I'll see them as trying to state a fact. And if I think that fact is incorrect, I will fight them. I will literally have arguments with people. When they were trying to compliment me, I'll argue against their compliment. And it's that's pretty funny to me, but it does leave mental damage, because you can't receive compliments when that happens. Of course, that's my personal experience, and that's probably very different than a lot of people, because I'm a very different person. But I'm trying to talk from my perspective so that you can better understand me and this channel, but it's also I'm trying to explain ADHD. So I'm doing both. It's not just one. For those who have ADHD, you'll miss a lot of what people are saying, but one thing that attention has, it's not necessarily attention, but I would relate it to that word, because it doesn't really have a clear thing that it's, you know, like in the title, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, there isn't really one singular word that this other issue would fall under, but almost all people with ADHD deal with this, and this is working memory. Now, what is working memory? Working memory is like, so you have your short-term memory and you have your long-term memory. Now, if you didn't think about this, your long-term memories don't just appear. You don't immediately have long-term memories. They're all short-term memories. So there has to be a process from your short-term memories to become long-term memories, because they are different in your brain. They're stored differently. That is working memory. That is working memory, I believe. I'm forgetting stuff. See? But working memory will transfer one short-term memories to long-term memories. And the issue with people with ADHD is that they don't have a very good working memory, or sometimes it's like, it's just awful. It's broken apart. For me specifically, everything before 7th grade, when I started taking my ADHD medication, I can't like remember it at all. It's like gone. It's not there. And that's because I couldn't turn all those short-term memories from my childhood into long-term memories, which some of you might feel bad, but I'm still able to remember some things, just not much. A lot less than other people. Like, I'll have friends talk about people that they knew, and I would have hanged out with this person but not known them, because I just can't remember. This is kind of where forgetfulness comes from. People with ADHD will deal with forgetfulness, but they don't really understand why. You know? And there's two reasons. One, the one I just mentioned. The other one is attention. What that means. And what that, it's also kind of part of the hyperactive. So I'm going to talk about the hyperactive one, because that's the word that I often didn't quite understand, and I think most people here might not understand it either. What it is that hyperactivity is not necessarily something physical. While it is physical, it's also mental. And for me, and for most people, hyperactivity will mean that your brain is always on. It's always thinking. For me, it's always thinking critically, which can lead to problems. But for other people, it might be always thinking about stuff that they don't think matters. Of course, all of your thoughts matter, and even if you're thinking about something you don't think matters, it does matter to some extent, or else you wouldn't be thinking about it. Which is something to consider. But what this means is that since you're always thinking about something, some people don't learn how to not do this. And this next thing is kind of a big issue, because it's where the other half of the forgetfulness comes from. It's that people with ADHD will they'll have so many different thoughts, and they'll focus on the most entertaining one especially hard, which means that if you're talking about something and you're not catching their attention, then something else probably is in their head, and it won't be all of their attention either. For people with ADHD, multitasking is the only way to focus on anything. You want to do a few unimportant things while doing an important thing, and doing those unimportant things help you focus on that important thing. This is why fidgeting is the thing. You probably saw me with this, and like I did this or some shit, but that's only because, you know, I need to fidget around. If you can't see, but my leg is like, it's like boom, 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 boom. That's, you know, of course, for me, I did have coffee with my ADHD medication, and if you didn't know, some ADHD medication is literally just souped up coffee with a few other things, but it's, in simple terms, it's like souped up coffee, at least from the people I've talked to about it, said that that's what it is. I kind of trust their opinion, but I might need to be fact-checked, so don't take my word for that part. But, yeah, hyperactivity also means physically, where your body has a lot of, just wants to move. And that's mostly just for the multitasking part, but it's also something that's involuntary. If I were to focus on not moving and then look at my hand, see that? My hand. See that? They're kind of twitching. That's what you kind of have to deal with. If I'm not moving my leg or focused on something very deeply, my hands will just start trembling if I'm not using them. And this actually gets worse, specifically for me. I don't know if this is a universal thing, but it gets worse for me when I drink coffee or any sort of caffeinated thing, as that also makes me shake, and with my ADHD, I'm already shaking. Or, not really shaking, I'm more trembling, but it makes me shake like that, like an earthquake. Like, something's gonna, like, yeah, you know. That was a lot of likes, I am sorry. Then, the other part to ADHD is what happens when you can't focus on anything and you constantly misunderstand people. See, not only did I have to, I'm going back to a previous topic, so bear with me here. Previously I was talking about how I kind of had to analyze things and break them apart to kind of get things, and with all this said that I've said previously, it should help you understand this better. The other reason I needed to break apart things was because with different mindsets, this might not be an ADHD thing, but I tend to relate it to ADHD since it has a similar issue to my ADHD, but it could just be my personality. It's constant misunderstandings, where the first thing you think about what someone said is probably wrong. That was mostly because imagine reading a message on your phone. Now imagine when someone talks to you, that's kind of what it's the same kind of thing, where you'll misunderstand what someone says because you can't understand tone, and for a while I couldn't understand tone. I'm better at it now, but I still have some mistakes. I guess I can't understand when people are faking tone. There isn't much really else to say. I know I'm missing something. Yes, that's it right there. You see what I just did? I lost my path, where I was so focused on what I was saying that I couldn't remember what I was trying to say. And for me specifically, this gets really freaky for me, and if you're going through this, it might be freaky for you too. But not remembering what you said right after you say it is not a pleasant experience. It's just not. And that's kind of what happens. I'm so focused on talking, on my tone of voice, and I actually create imagery when I'm talking about what I'm talking about, right? And because of that, I'm focused on the imagery and the talking, but not the words. So they just kind of come out of me. Just my brain's just exploding onto the person I'm talking to, which can cause them to be like, "What did you say?" And I wouldn't know. I don't know. But that's another issue too. I suppose these are the main issues. See, the problem with ADHD is that people don't really get it. And people assume that it just means you can't pay attention. Or that for some people, they might not even recognize ADHD. There are people out there that don't even know what it is and that have never heard the word before. For those people, they're just going to think you're lazy when you're not. I have had moments in my life where I have tried my hardest and literally gotten nothing done. I will have no assignments done, even though I tried so hard. I'm confused because I don't know what I was working on. I was just working on focusing, not even the assignments, but just focusing on doing the assignments, which caused, because I was so focused on focusing, I didn't do anything. And that happens too. Of course, this has only happened really during quarantine, because of bad mental health and stuff like that, but I've dealt with worse mental health, which I'll explain in a different video for psychology. Now, what does the ADHD medication do? You might be wondering as well. It really depends on what you have and what medication you have. Because ADHD medication affects people in a lot of different ways. Personally, when I take it, I feel... how do I explain this? I feel like a different person, in a way. Where how I interact with the world is very different. And I'm very much more emotionally mature when I take the medication. But I think the issue is that without the medication, I kind of feel like I can't do anything. I've been put down so often as a child for not doing my work. Even though I was trying so hard to do my work, I couldn't focus on it, and they didn't realize what was going on. And because of that, now I feel like I can't do work without my medication. I'm so down on myself that I don't feel like that's something I can do. Which kind of relates to another topic, which is, previously I said I didn't remember any of the related disorders, but I actually do. One specifically, because it's one that I think I might have, and I'm going to go to the doctor for it, but be aware that depression is actually a known, disorder that is commonly associated with ADHD. So that might be pretty helpful, as you might be wondering, why did I have this? But yeah. Now, the one last thing I wanted to talk about is how disorders are kind of looked down upon by some people. The issue with this is that, sadly, people see it as something being wrong with you. And you might see it that way too. And let me tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, of course there's something, we have flaws, but you're not broken is what I'm trying to say. No one is really broken. They're just flawed. And there are people that are incredibly flawed to the point where they look broken. And sometimes I don't know if those people can be helped. But most people can. And, most people think of themselves as broken when they are not broken. Or they'll be called broken when they're not broken. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably a better person than you think you are. You've probably done a lot more for people than you think you are. And having something like ADHD or depression or any sort of disorder doesn't mean you're any less than any other person. In fact, it means you're a little bit different. And that's kind of beautiful. If you're not different, then what are you? You're no one. So think of it less as something wrong with you and think of it more as you. And it comes with flaws and benefits. Specifically, people with ADHD are known to have small parts of their brain are smaller, parts of their brain are bigger. So you might be really good at certain things, but really bad at other things. And that's okay. We all have things that we're good at, and we all have things that we're bad at. But we gotta just focus on understanding ourselves and just being comfortable. Not comfortable. The right word is generally have enjoyment. Find the enjoyment in everything. This is kind of going off topic, I know. I'm sorry. You could click away now if you don't want to hear this, because I'm going to get into a little bit of other stuff. Not necessarily about ADHD, since I've talked about pretty much everything I want to talk about. So if you want to go now, I will not judge you. But know that every person is unique. Not better. When someone says special, it implies that you're better. But everyone, of course there are people that are better at certain things and better at things that everyone recognizes a certain number of things. If you have something you're good at that falls outside of those things that are focused on, you might feel worse, but you're not. You're just not as focused on it, which is an awful feeling, I know, but you're still good at something. And that's really all that matters. We all have our own unique quirks and traits, and being understanding of those traits, as you might be understanding with another person, and being and loving those traits, not necessarily loving those traits, but accepting. You gotta accept before you can love. And we all have flaws, and sometimes our flaws can destroy us. Sometimes they can make us break down into tears. But I have, even at 17, think about that, even at 17, right now, that's my age, I'm able to be in a place where even in my darkest moments, I know that everything's going to fluctuate. So when I'm in my happiest moments, I know that there are going to be downs. And when I'm in my darkest moments, I know there's going to be ups. So I have hope. And that's kind of all you got to do. As there will always be downs, but if you focus on, you got to just stay in the moment, but you got to, if the moment is awful, then maybe do some escaping. I don't know. But one other thing I do is that I see positives in all sorts of all of these negative aspects of myself, all these aspects that maybe most people would want to change. Of course, I might want to change these too, but there's a fundamental flaw in our society where people think that there are parts of other people or traits from other things that they want for themselves, that they just want to change like that. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not how it works. You gotta work hard to change. It's not easy. It's actually really difficult. It's one of the hardest things you can do is change. But, of course, we're always changing, but I mean changing to be what you want to be. And sometimes you can't be what you want to be. Of course, if you work hard enough and are smart about it, you probably will. It's very likely. But there's some situations, some people, and some traits that won't let us be things that we are not. I'm not saying just be something that everyone tells you you are. I'm saying be you. Think about, don't try to be someone else. Try to be you. And if you don't like a thing about yourself, don't try to change it into something that's someone else's. That's yours. You have to work on it. You can get help, of course. Everyone deserves help. Everyone needs help. I can't do it alone. I talk to other people all the time. But I would never want to instantly change something about myself. I always want to work on it, because the feeling of satisfaction when you do change something about yourself, or not something about yourself, but like heal. When you heal, the feeling you get when you did that, you worked hard for it, and you put all of your effort into that, it is one of the most amazing feelings you will ever have. And if you do that, you can pass that knowledge on to other people and help as many people as you can. I know I'm kind of just blabbering, but that's what I do. That's kind of what ADHD causes. Just talking. So, I might remake this video in the future, because personally, I don't really like how it turned out. Just from recording, listening to what I'm talking about. Without a script, I just kind of go on rants. And of course, there are people that like that. And I think I'm going to keep doing videos like that, but I need to practice. Or I need to make scripts. I think I'm going to practice, because I hate scripts. Scripts. Ugh. I just don't like them. They just don't appeal to me. You know? I just like being my authentic self. And I'm going to close this video off by talking about the channel. Because I want something from the channel. I have a theme for the channel. And the theme for the channel is emotional and intellectual honesty from me. And hopefully from you. Of course, not everyone can do that. And I feel like that's kind of creepy for me to ask you to be honest with me. Because you don't know me. You don't know me. But I just want to be open. And I feel like that's kind of more... I'm good at that. It's something I don't have to try to do. And because that's who I am, and that's one of the most defining features of my character, I want it to be something that people watch me for. I want people to watch me for my honesty and my truthfulness. And if I make a mistake, I will not hide it. I have all these videos that I hate. I hate my old videos. But I'm not going to delete them. That would be dishonest of me. At least I would feel that way. And well, you guys would never know what you're missing. Which you're not really missing much, but you would never know what you're missing. It's not for your benefit, it's for my benefit. So just take it as a whole that I won't have a schedule yet. Because I'm not really at that point where I feel like I'm confident enough in my channel to do that. I have scripts planned out, but I have so much going on in my life that a schedule for YouTube. No sir, I'm not doing that. But I will be making videos, and they will be kind of sporadic. But they'll slowly become a schedule, so if you want to stick around, then stick around. And if you stick around, you know, that's be fun. One last thing is that I'm going to be spreading to other social medias. Currently, I don't have any other social medias other than YouTube, except an Instagram. But that's not for my YouTube channel, and that's only to see certain other people, and it was very recently, so I don't really know how Instagram works. I have a Discord channel that I made myself from doing a lot of research on how Discord works. I will be posting that in the description below. Two of my friends are both doing commissions, one for editing, where they will be editing videos, for money, of course. I think it's not too expensive, so if you don't think you can edit stuff, then maybe check them out. And then the person in wrong way, sorry. The person I'm with here, because this is me and this is them right there. This is them, this is me. Yeah, my partner. They are doing commissions, art commissions, and they're pretty nice. I made a slideshow with them to help advertise, and I'm going to post that in the description as well. It'll be labeled, so you won't have to really worry about that. I already talked about my Discord being in the description. I might make a Patreon, but I'm 17. I get money. I get food. I don't need money. It'll help make better videos, of course, and I'll be setting up for better equipment. But as you can see, I got pretty good equipment right here. This is kind of me convincing you not to, but I'm just saying that it's more of a choice for you to do rather than a choice for me to try to convince you to do, at least as of right now, because YouTube is not my job. It's just a hobby, at least right now. It might change. Everything changes. But for now, that's just not what it is. So, yeah, if you want to support me on Patreon, you can. When it comes to the Discord, if you're one of the first people to go on the Discord, I will make sure that I'll talk to you, basically. We have therapy servers on the Discord, so if you need to talk about anything, you could go over there, and I'll try to help you out. Since there isn't many people right now, I should be able to do that. I won't, obviously, I won't, like, talk to you like a friend. You'll be a subscriber, and this is kind of a professional thing. For right now, all I have to do is finish up some bots and the rules channel, because I don't have rules down right now, and it's a lawless wasteland. Maybe I'll make a video on what I want the rules to be, but for right now, I don't know. If you made it through the video, why are you watching this? Like, what has happened in your life that you'd want to watch a 17-year-old talk about ADHD, go on a tangent about mental health and how you're okay, and then talk about his YouTube channel that you're watching? What made you come here, and why did you choose to do it? It's not a very... I'm just joking around. Alright. I'll be posting another video. I'm gonna be playing games sometimes. I think the two main videos are psychology videos about my own life and stuff like that, and videos with my friends where we play games, because I'm not a solo player. I don't really play games by myself, but when I play with other people, they're pretty entertaining, and I become more entertaining when I'm with them. So I guess that's all I really wanted to say. That's like everything. I was just dumping because of my ADHD and because of my personality. If you enjoyed this video, like and comment. And if you're not sure what to comment, what should you comment? Comment Hollow Knight is the greatest video game, or something along those lines. If you made it this part of the video, of course. It'll help me know. Yeah. So, also tell me in the comments if you had a good time and anything you want to talk about, and I'll try checking them out. I'd rather you go in the Discord to talk to me if you want to message me, but I do recommend going in the comment section. I'm probably not gonna respond to every comment. I'll try, since that's the best way to do things. But my main YouTube isn't the same as my YouTube channel. So, while I'm migrating over back to the channel I'm using for YouTube, I'm not there yet. So I won't get notified when you comment on my video. I'll have to check. And since I have so much stuff going on, it might be a bit till I see any comments. So I'd recommend just going on the Discord if you really want to talk to me. Or, not talk to me, but talk about stuff in the video. And it's gonna be pretty nice. I'm good at making communities, so don't worry about that. And don't worry about people judging you, because if they do, I don't know, just, you could at me or something, I don't know. I'll be like, the hell fuck you doing? I just don't want to stop. I just don't want to stop. Someone stop me, please. I'm addicted.